Hi, I'm Sharon Keegan, founder and CEO of Peachylean.com and winner of 3 fabulous dragons on the BBC Dragon's Den. So I've always had an infatuation with the word entrepreneur since I was a child. So my friends would be playing with their prams, playing mammies, and I was playing office. So I just had an infatuation with business, stationery, anything to do with like the word entrepreneur from a very early age. So like I started my first business when I was 19. I imported like spray tanning products into the country. And yes, I am responsible for that orange tangerine skin. And was taken on then by Saint Tropez, which is a huge brand in the UK. And kind of, to be honest, always was that kind of person, drumming up mad business ideas. But I was at the Glastonbury Festival in 2006 and I seen this amazing stand called the Pie Minister stand. I don't know if you're familiar with Pie Minister pies, pie, mash and gravy. And the queue was about 2 miles long down the festival field. And I thought, what is that? So I got into the queue, obviously being very nosy, got to the top of the queue, and there's amazing food that, like, in Ireland, you just never had that kind of quality of product at a festival. So I met with the guys the next year. They had brought the food to Ireland, and I actually ran their business for them for about 8 years in Ireland. And that led me up to around 33. I was like still partying, having the great times, no kids. And at the last festival, which is the Electric Picnic, I found out I was pregnant for the first time. And I was like, oh, okay. But like, it was a very welcome time in my life. But unfortunately, we had to pull the business due to the sterling rise at that time. So it was very difficult to import UK products into Ireland because the sterling was just so expensive. So we pulled the business, and I was left, not left, but I was left, my ego a little bit, trudged up, into the floor. And I was pregnant for the first time, all my friends around me, no job. And I just, because I'd employed 16 of my friends or something, we were all like running the festivals together. And I just got really low. I felt really low, couldn't cope. I couldn't cope with being a new mother and not being in business. And that's where Peachylean really was born, because Peachylean was born out of a place where I couldn't find activewear to flatter my new like mum shape, if you can call it, if it even is a thing. But you do have a new shape when you have a baby, and my babies were massive 10 pounders. Like, so I was left with this curvy kind of shape, and I just couldn't find stuff. I couldn't find activewear that would flatter my shape, so I was wearing Spanx underneath my highly branded activewear. And I just said, right, I'm gonna design a pair. That's literally where it began. For me, because I was in a depressive state, I needed something to spark the creative side of my brain. When you're, if for anyone who understands being in a depressed state, your confidence is really low. And I needed something to kind of rebuild my confidence. And UCD Innovation Academy was that for me. It was going into a, first of all, going to do a postgraduate. I'd never even had a degree. My education was the hard knocks of, startup, fail, startup, fail, startup, fail. And walking into a university to do a postgraduate was a terrifying experience. I had a lot of anxiety, but achieving that, like it, like, not only, like we graduate from that course, but like achieving that was such a momentous thing for me. And it gave me the confidence to really grow. And actually in the Innovation Academy, I designed a different product. It wasn't Peachylean, it was a vitamin D product to help mothers and babies with mental health. And actually that's such a great product. It might be my next venture, but it did fail very quickly because I realized the funding for that product was really extortionate. And I had a baby at home and I needed cash. So I wanted to do something fairly quickly to get the cash flow moving. And yeah, and I think for anyone who might be even, in that position where they're in a transition or a crossroads and they don't know where to go, maybe they've had a couple of failures, or they're in a career and they're just unhappy, re-educating your mind with just something a little bit different, like innovation, startup, entrepreneurship, it really opens the brain and the creative side of the brain actually to to a realization that we are so much more than our ego, if you understand. Initially, when I decided to design a product, my first thought process around my problem was, how do I get women who are a little bit unconfident to feel better in themselves, which will in turn get them moving. And I know movement is medicine because it's been proven on me. It helped me with my own mental health. So if I can get them into a product to make them feel good, maybe they'll move and maybe they'll feel better. So I actually thought of creating a community first around a product. And I designed the product, and I basically told the manufacturer, because I had no design skills, by the way, I'm not a designer. I just knew what I wanted. And I told the manufacturer that I wanted a product like Spanx, but could be soft enough to wear in the gym, and would be colorful enough to drag in the Instagram market. Okay. And that's literally what I did. So I got the first sample. I actually sold 224 units, and I didn't have any products at all, like none. And I had to tell all them people that it would be a little bit of time because we'd sold out. I was kind of making it up off the top of my head. So it was really, really trial and error. And then the community. So Peachylean really is actually an empowerment community. So we want people, I'm saying it is women at the moment, but eventually it will be everybody. But for now, we want women to see the epic in every day, and we support the everyday everybody. Okay, because there is such a stigma around fitness and how someone is supposed to look while they're fit, or how they move. And it's not about that. Movement is pure medicine. It makes you feel better. It's how we conquer our biggest battles and fears in life. And I think that Peachylean is really promoting that. It's all about your inner critic, your, just move, and just the way you are, loving your body no matter what shape and size. And our products really are designed with color, because we want you to live life in full color. And they're very, very supportive. So we have an extra double layered waistband, which really holds in the lady's tummy. We have a double lining on the rear section for your wiggly bits. And it just allows you to feel very, very secure in your skin. It's like wearing your best pair of denims. And then we also gave the girls pockets, because they wanted pockets. So we had to redesign and reiterate and give them pockets as well. We've also got bras, we've got hoodies. I'll just show you now. We've got our new bra, which is a really, really great. And actually, the biggest thing for us was to be inclusive and go from a size 6 to a size 26. And that's all in the name. So basically, Peachylean is from peachy to lean, 6 to 26. So we want everyone to feel the best in their own skin. And I'll just explain the logo. So the logo is very important to us because it's people of all shapes and all sizes and all colors coming together to live life in full color. And that's our logo. And it's actually, if you look into it, it's a P and an L. And there's a very special thing in that logo, because when we designed it, there was such it was actually a spiritual experience. But when we designed it, we had everyone in mind. And I had this number, which is like a really, really significant number to me. And it's number 23. And actually, nobody knew this. But when you have a look into the logo, you see 2 and you see 3. So that's just for me. That's a personal thing for me. The bigger box players missed a bit of a trick, I think, and they're speaking to one demographic, and that demographic, we know, is a 1% of our population. Okay, some of the lean young body type. Okay, now it has exploded with Gymshark. I will not lie, that's an amazing success story. But there's so many other people, or women and men, that want to move their body, and they want to look good, and they want to feel good in their own skin. And of a certain age, our bodies become a little bit different, and our confidence dwindles. Okay, so there has to be a space, or a marketing space, for people of my age group, middle-aged people who want to move, who want to look good, and who have jiggly wobbly bits. And you know what, we can only get rid of our jiggly wobbly bits if we get moving again. And I think that that's why people give up at a certain age. They're just like, I'm past it or whatever, and you're never past it. So we started our community and we helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people to overcome their fears, their insecurities, achieve their momentous goals and dreams. Like we had, I have actually on the wall the first steps, big jumps, and every leg of the journey, because we had 12 women who we followed in the first year of our business, and one of the women lost 100 pounds in weight, and to be honest, she has become her own celebrity now. She is booming on her Instagram and she's flying it. Another girl who never swam a day in her life, like she was terrified of water, and as a community and as a group, and we all done this with her, we got her through her first triathlon, with her daughter on the sideline. It was very emotional, actually, like listening to her daughter scream out, "Go, mommy!" And she's in the river and she's swimming, like she's swimming in a river. We've had women that, had lost children and got through such a difficult period of their life just by being in the community and by supporting each other. And it's not all about weight, you see. When you're a certain age, aesthetic is a big part of who you are and how you want to present to the world. But through a different stage of your life or a different chapter, you have a lot of baggage, a lot of emotional stuff that you carry around. And I think for that person at that part of their life, it's such an important thing to move, because movement is medicine. It gets all of the emotions out. It does make you feel better. And I think that's what the community are doing. We're just helping people through their struggle. So it was always a dream of mine to go and pitch in front of the dragons in the BBC. From a very young age, I used to watch on BBC Two on Sunday nights with my dad and my brother. We're a big entrepreneurial family, and we'd always take bets on who was going to get, the investment. And, sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right, but it was always very entertaining. So it was such a dream come true for me to finally have an opportunity to pitch in front of these dragons with a business that I was so, so passionate about and that was doing so well. And it was so bittersweet because just before the show had aired, I had lost my dearest brother, my best friend, Alan, who would have absolutely loved to see what had happened. I did get to tell him because, the day before he passed, I told him that I was up for a screen test and I might get it. And unfortunately, he passed the following day, but he never knew that I got it. And I really do feel that he was there with me on the day because I was so calm. I'm usually like what they call like a nervous Nelly. Like I'd be, nervous, but I was just so calm. And it was like surreal, like to go into the lift and to open the doors, and they catch you off guard because they don't tell you. You do a few test shots of you walking through the lift or going up in the lift, and they don't tell you on the last shot that it's live or that the dragons are going to be sitting there. So when the doors open, I didn't expect them to be there. I just thought it was another testing, like a test run. And there they were. And I just seen Deborah and I kind of made a dart for the, to where I was supposed to stand. And I was just excited. I think, usually I think when someone tells you you're going to pitch in front of the dragons, you're like, oh, and the nerves can get too much. I was expecting to go back out and put my lipstick on, and I didn't really know that was it. So I just, thankfully, it was kind of, I was just pushed. It was like being pushed into the deep end. But they were so lovely and so understanding, so warm. I did break down at one stage because it was a very emotional time. I had just, I was dealing with a lot of grief, and it was up and down because I was so happy to be achieving a momentous dream of mine, but so sad underneath it all. And my dad was there with me, so we shared tears of joy and tears of pure sadness as well. But I do feel like he was there on the day, and it was just such a dream come true. And I feel like he made it happen for me. We won an award, which was just really overwhelming. I never thought we'd win anything. We won a new emerging business award with to be honest with you, when I seen who else won, I was like, oh my God, like really? I couldn't believe it. Um, so winning a bit of recognition, I think, for the brand was really powerful, and it was on International Women's Day as well, which is obviously really, not coincidental, but serendipitous. It's really great. But I suppose, look, I've always wanted to hire an amazing team or to have amazing people around me. And I'm a big kind of advocate of like manifesting what your needs and what you want in your life. And I had met these incredible women along my journey of startup. And I always said in my life that I want to work with these women. And now these women are like founding members on our team, which they're phenomenal, like world-class designer, world-class digital specialist. I definitely manifested the dragons. Like I wanted Sarah Davies, I wanted Tuka. Like that I wanted these things in my life, and like I suppose they've been momentous achievements. But also the everyday, like I am, living the brand, as in like some days the epicness in my day is just the workload, like getting my kids to school, safe, happy, dressed and looking clean, coming in, achieving a really high sales growth in a day, off to be back to being mammy again, or whatever it is that I need to do in my day. And like I do find a lot of, you know, um comfort in that. And I think, but like sometimes I give myself a good pat on the back just for doing that alone. So it's the journey. Someone said to me one time, it was my father actually, everybody wants to live on top of the mountain. We all strive to live at the top of the mountain, but it's the journey on the way up that's the most rewarding. And I really do live that every day. So I'm just loving and lapping it up, and every day is a good day. My vision has always been community. So community based, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to empower people to be their true self. That's what Peachylean is, really, in a nutshell. It starts with spandex and nylon, but it's so much more than that. We will empower people to live an authentic, true life, and to move, and to really just be in the moment. And I see, if it was a blue sky thinking scenario, I see, you know, philanthropy, and I see helping others that aren't in the same situations as we were gifted. I see Peachylean empowering um, youngsters to not live a life of anxiety, and I call it the comparisonitis lifestyle, like that it's okay to be different and unique. And yeah, I suppose I think what we're trying to do as a team is we're trying to inject a bit of confidence into people again, because we've lost a little bit of that in our society. And um yeah, confidence and uniqueness. I'm going to read something just because it's someone wrote it this morning, and it's the truth. Someone wrote it about the business, and I thought, oh, that's lovely. Just give me 1 second. This is actually the vision of Peachylean. So Peachylean dreams of a world of no comparison, competition, or criticism, but of love, compassion, and support for the everyday everybody.